Hmm. Oh, hello. Well, if I would have seen you guys here, I would have brushed out my good calipers at least. So what I started before, you guys might have seen it make a guest appearance in my last video, or one of those videos. I was kind of drawing out a steady rest for my lathe. You know, and there's a couple problems with this. Like for what I wanted to do for the I don't know what you call that, the little keepers or shafts or whatever you want to call them. Didn't have enough meat on this for the template, so I'm going to make that quite a bit bigger. And you know, and do some little, just sketching it out. Got a great big chunk of 1-inch plate. I'm gonna probably sketch it out in 2 pieces and hack it out with the torch. Should be fun. So much better than white glue. Oh, shit. Alright, so that pretty much sums it up for the arts and crafts session here. Alright, so that's the first one I made. The first, I don't know what you'd call it, template, I guess. Yeah, it was a little bit skimping on some areas. This is the newer version. So I put a little more material in there and in there. And that's going to be the top of it. So that's pretty much the steady rest right there. What my plan was I got some 4140 1/2 inch, and it's gonna be on the 1-inch plate. So like these will be, you know, they'll be about yay long, I guess. And what's gonna be in here is like a captive nut it'll be captive with a spring pin, I guess, or something. So when you turn it, this will thread up like this, you know, and I'll have this bored out. And I'll have some brass ends for that. And they'll just screw onto that. That way you'll be able to swap them out whenever you want. There'll be another pin right here, probably also 4140. I'm thinking I might go 5/8 for that one though. I should have enough meat in there. And then I'll be able to drill that and tap it for a stud bolt, a 3/8 stud bolt, and it'll swing up and then just clamp that down. And as for this part, well, I don't know. That's about right there. I'll have to. Well, of course, it'll be milled very similar to that. Probably not as nice and round though. I highly doubt it. Maybe I'll figure something out. I would very much like it to be roundish. That's what the steady rest is going to look like right there. We'll just get rid of that. So that's the plan. So I was kind of hoping to cut this out tonight, but it got dark out, and anyone who's ever used a torch at night, it's not that great. It's hard to see the soapstone, and the neighbors might freak out. So I'll wait till the morning. All right, guys. So I pretty much got the rough you know, template sketched out here. You know, I just kind of traced around the completely reusable template in case I bugger this one up. You may have noticed there, well, no, you probably can't see it very good. I put 2 little, I'm going to drill 2 holes in there just since that's such a tight corner. I'm going to put 2 1/4 inch drill holes right through that, so that way, you know, I won't be cutting so close into the corner with that, you know, it is 1-inch plate, so it might be a problem. So yeah, I don't know, I just kind of cleaned up whatever loose mill scale was on there so it doesn't flake off with the soapstone. And I'm going to take this outside and start cutting. rusty. There. Oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Shit. I'm really rusty at this. Yeah, I am rusty. Oh, that was my practice cut. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this into pieces and I'll see you later. Well, that's pretty much the gist of it right there. It's gonna need a substantial amount of cleanup, but I left enough meat to clean it up afterwards anyway, so that's what I was really most concerned about. That's a big ass hunk of metal. Yeah, you see where it was kind of, I think that's where the wind picked up right there. It's a thing. It really is. The torch, the wind picks up, starts blowing your flame around. It does some weird shit. Well, already after a considerable amount of grinding and filing, we mostly got her cleaned up here. I still got a little bit of rocking in there. So I'm going to try and square it up really good with the ways. And even this actually turned out pretty, spot on actually. There might be a couple thou out in 4 inches, but that ain't bad. And we still got about, maybe a 1/16 of an inch to play with. A little better. This is a 10-inch lathe, so we got just the over 5 inches on either side. So we're I'm pretty happy with that fit up. Even not a stitch of machining on there, but I do got to get some of this. I got it's got still a bit of a, not much, just a little bit. I'll have to square that off just a little bit better. I'm just going to be finding out which side is a little bit high and where the rocking is coming from. But we're pretty close. We got to maybe take off just a smidge off this back corner. But according to this, like it should be pretty good. So I really wanted to put it in the milling attachment. I tried, but it's just way too big, and I was going to mill these out, but it just seems pretty much impossible. I am still going to have to figure out a way how to mill a big slot in here, and big, like it's going to be half an inch thick. So all right, so given the capabilities of this this little guy, this is pretty much maxed right out. I cannot get another freaking 1/4 inch out of that even yet. So okay, I guess I just got to find center, and Yeah, this is gonna take a considerably long time, I'm thinking, because it's just I'm probably gonna take it pretty easy and only do like maybe 50,000 cuts at best. The half inch end mill. Yeah, like there's the there's the setup right there. You recognize that little guy probably. But yeah, I got it bolted up to the fixture plate. And technically 3 points, I guess. And yeah, well, shit. That's like I said, that's a maximum capacity of this milling attachment. So yeah, big job for a little guy here. So all right, so there's our starting point. I'm gonna walk this carriage down and find a wrench. I'm gonna go from the bottom up. And we're gonna bring it in. I guess I'll try 25 to start because it's kind of a weird, just to see how rigid everything is, I guess. Not very rigid. I don't like it. Maybe we can make it a little better yet. Yeah, it wants to fucking be. It's not panning out here. I don't know what it's doing. I'll have to get back to you. Alright, so it would appear this is the first end mill I ever used. It appears it still has some life left in her. I was trying those really cheap Chinese import end. Well, this is a cheaper one, but this is still is $40 or $35 or something like that for this one end mill, as opposed to the $3 ones that just would not even scratch this. It's just a mild steel, and they're totally shit in the bed. So this is just a roughing end mill, and it appears to be not doing too shabby. I thought it was screwed, but it still seems to be doing the job. So I'm going to keep whittling away at this and eventually get it where I want it. I might actually jack the RPM up here now that I know that this end mill works a little bit. So we're back in action. This is going to take me quite a bit because there's a lot of metal to hog off here. So I'll be back when I get this hogged off. As you can see, I'm taking one big major chunk just with a milling attachment here, but I might have to back it off and clean out the chips a little bit. I don't know. It seems to be doing pretty damn good though. Not bad. This is definitely pushing this little compound to the limit here. But it's doing it, so I'm going to keep plugging away at it. There we go. Yeah, well, that worked a lot better. It's a roughing end mill, so it'll be a little rough on the inside edges here, but yeah, these are those $3 end mills. Like, yeah, it totally just didn't do nothing. Oh yeah, these edges just rolled right over. Terrible. Yeah, I don't even know if those will be any good for anything. Maybe I'll use them for the pins on this thing. That's about all they're damn well good for. So yeah, that's actually working. I'm super surprised. So I'm gonna have to, that's just one big pass through there. That's I don't know. Take the old depthometer here and see how deep that went. Pretty big for a milling attachment, I think. Well, we're looking at, 325 thousandths just about. I don't know, you probably can't read that so good. Maybe pause the video, you will be able to. So that's a big hog out for for this little lathe. I kind of feel sorry for her. But nothing's heating up in or anything, so I think we're okay. I do got to take this back probably another inch yet. Quite a bit. So I'll be well into, I'll have to go into that. And I might end up having to rotate this at some point too yet. So in any case, that's pretty much now we know it works. So I'll figure the rest out from there. All right, well there she is, folks. I think I pretty much reached the capacity of that milling attachment. I don't think I can really get any more out of that, but you can see that's a lot of freaking milling for a milling attachment. Sorry, bench is a disaster again. It took a bit to I went the first pass, I just went straight across, and then I tilted it to 120 degrees, and I did another took out another, hogged out of another bunch there. I don't really want to take out any more due to just the nature where the pin's going to be running through. So it's already milled all the way down to here, I guess. I guess if I took a ruler, it'd be something like this. So, I could probably take out a little bit more, but I think I might just alter this piece instead. Try to take it down to match that that profile, I guess. Just make it a little bit less meat. I think there's going to be a lot of meat down there no matter what I do, pretty much. That's a pretty thick hunk of plate, It's a 1-inch plate, so I've seen guys do lots with less, so that should be okay. Well, I think I'm gonna have, this is going to be, I still got another piece to mill out. That'll be on the end here for the I gotta drill the hole first, I think. And then I'm gonna have to mill that out. Yep, I'm gonna have to mill that out another, well, probably only 3/8 on this one, I guess. Just enough to accommodate that bolt that's going to swing up, and then tackle that down. And then this is gonna have to get milled out. I'm not done cleaning this piece up yet, but that's gonna have to get milled out too, accommodate the bolt, and flattened out, obviously. And this is also gonna have to get taken 1/4 inch off each side. So there's a long ways to go for this yet, and this is already took a long time just to file that out and get it to fit between the lathes just right and square that off. Squaring stuff off with a file is a lot harder than it looks. You think you get it, and then I bought this big meaty file, the big old Nicholson bastard cut 12-inch file, because I needed something that could take off a considerable amount of material. Anywho, I think I'm gonna call her a day. That's first portion milled out. I'm actually, it's a roughing mill, but I think I can just take a file. I've already actually cleaned out quite a bit of that. Just put a few scrapes with that big old file. She'll clean those lines out nicely, I think. All right, folks. Well, that's we'll conclude that to part 1 of the steady rest build. Looks a little rough now. I promise you it'll be much, much nicer by the time I'm done cleaning her up. All right, folks. Have a great night. Peace out.